Hello. I think we're waiting for one more. So we'll give her another minute here. Hmm. Well, I don't know. Maybe she couldn't make it. Well, we'll go ahead and get started, and then she jumps on, she can just jump in and join us. Okay. So we're going to start lying down on our backs. So just come into a comfortable lying down position. Let your legs splay apart, nice and comfortable. And let your arms come out to the sides, palms facing up. And close your eyes. And just take a moment. And notice how your body feels today. Just take a quick scan from your feet and your legs, through your pelvis and your abdomen, through your chest, your shoulders. Check in with your arms and your throat. Check in with your head. Just being aware of any emotions or feelings going on in your body today. you feel anywhere that's tense or tight, just send your attention there. Just give it permission to maybe relax a little bit. And bring your awareness to your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. Feel the rise of your belly on your inhales and the collapse back down on your exhales. And just take a moment to notice if your breath feels smooth, choppy. Notice if you have any pauses at the beginning and the end of your inhales and exhales. Just notice. Not trying to change it. Just notice. We'll gently begin to deepen the breath. Bringing the breath in and out through your nose throughout the whole practice. And softly open your eyes, just gently. And then on your next inhale, just nice and slowly begin to bring those arms up in front of you and up overhead. And on your exhale, nice and slowly bring them back up and down by your sides. Pairing your movement with your breath. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And as you inhale, feel that breath coming into your belly, moving up into your chest and up into your shoulders. And then as you exhale, feel it all collapsing back down. Nice full breaths. The next time you come to the top, leave your hands on the ground. And then gently slide your upper body just a couple inches over towards the right. And then slide your feet a couple inches over towards the right. Creating a little C with your body. And take some nice deep breaths here. Breathing into the left side of your body. Feel the breath coming into your belly, up through the side. Fanning out the ribs, creating some space. If you feel a pinch or a twinge in your back, just back off a little bit. And then on your next inhale, come back to the center. And then on your next exhale, reaching over to the left side, just a couple inches with your upper body, and then a couple inches with your legs. Take those nice, deep, full breaths. Bring them down into your abdomen. And feel them coming up the side of your body and fanning out those ribs. Creating space. On your next inhale, come back to the center and then just gently bring those feet to the floor and then hug those knees into your chest and give yourself a little rock from side to side here. Hip to hip and shoulder to shoulder. Just giving yourself a nice little back massage. And then coming back to center, holding on to the knees, circle the knees around in one direction. Making a nice little massage on the lower back and pelvis. And then pause and go the opposite direction. Just let that work out any tension that might be held there. And then hug those knees back into your chest. Slide your hands back to the back of your legs. And then on the next inhale, just lift those toes towards the ceiling. On the exhale, slowly float back down. Inhale to the ceiling. Exhale, nice and slow coming back down. If it doesn't cause you cramps, you can splay out those toes to create a little more space. The next time you come to the top, go ahead and hold it there and point and flex your feet. Lubricate the ankle joints. And then reaching up with those hands as well as your feet, just give those ankles and wrists a nice little rotation in one direction. And then pause and go the opposite direction. Keep breathing. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and slide those arms back down, slide those feet back down. And then gently start to bring your body up, rolling up to a seated position. Cross at the ankles, and then bring your way over onto all fours. You can adjust on your mat if you need to here. On your next inhale, drop your belly down towards the ground, lifting the head and tailbone. And as you exhale, arching up into cat, dropping the tailbone and the head towards the floor. Inhale, drop the belly down, lift the head. Exhale, arching up, pressing into the floor. And really feel the full movement of your spine here. Lengthening, creating space. You can make the stretch a little bit deeper as you come up into cat by pressing your hands into the floor and engaging your belly, pulling the belly button towards the spine. Creates a little more space. And then the next time you come to center, pause. Inhale through center. And then as you exhale, drop that ear to your right shoulder and then just swing those hips a little bit over towards the right, creating a little C with your back here. Inhale back through center. And on your next exhale, go to the left. Just swinging those hips, dropping the ear to the shoulder. Inhale through center. Exhale, lean to the side. Keeping the neck nice and long. Looking between the hands to help with that. And when you're complete on both sides, coming back to the center. And then we're going to put that together. So on your next inhale, drop the belly down towards the ground. As you exhale, swing your belly over towards the right side, kind of like a jump rope. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring it up into cat. Inhale, drop down to the opposite side. So you're kind of making a jump rope with your body here. Inhaling through the bottom and exhaling as you come up to the top of the rope. Inhaling through the bottom, exhaling, coming up. Like you're making a jump rope with your body that goes side to side here. And the next time you come down to the center, pause, take a breath. Inhale, and then as you exhale, go the opposite direction. Coming up. Bring it back down. Circle around. And then bringing it back down. Keep the neck nice and long. Shoulders away from the ears. Do one more here. And then pause and set your hips back into a child's pose. If you can reach your head to the floor, go ahead and drop it to the floor. If that doesn't work for you, you can either stack your hands or stack your fists. And just take a moment here. And notice your abdomen, the space behind your belly button. And then on your next inhale, curl those toes under behind you. Press the arms out straight, pressing into the knuckles of your fingers, and then press the hips away towards the back wall. Keeping the knees bent. Pressing into the knuckles to protect your wrists. Shoulders down away from the ears, up into a downward dog here. Breathe deep into the belly. Keep a bend in those knees. Neck should be nice and loose without any strain or stress on it here. Maybe wiggle it around a little bit to make sure. And then walk your hands and feet together. And nice and slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time Make sure that you don't get dizzy. Up into a standing position. We're going to come into some shoulder rolls here. So roll those shoulders back. And then pause and roll them to the front. And then pause, and one more time to the back. And keeping nice and loose in those knees, just do some arm swings here, alternating which one goes on top. You can add a little balance in your knees, just be nice and loose in the knees here. Maybe a little sway side to side, whatever feels good. Just work out some of that tension in the shoulders. That feels good. And then coming back to the center, step those feet a little wider than hips width apart, hands to the hips, and do some hip circles here. So nice and big, like you're scraping all the sides of a barrel. Keep those knees bent. And then pause and go the opposite direction. And then pause. Bring those feet a little closer together and we'll bring in some marches. Wake up the back of the legs, checking our coordination. And then coming back to the center, find your mountain pose with the shoulder blades back and down, feet hip distance apart. Chest lifted, and then just pull the chin back a little bit so that the back of the neck is nice and long. Find some balance here. Check in with your feet. Try and balance evenly on the front and the backs of your feet. And then on your next inhale, gently begin to come up on those toes. And then as you exhale, gently come back down. And try and pair the movement with your breath here. So as you inhale, come up nice and slow. And as you exhale, down nice and slow. So you're getting that nice full breath. And back down. You can add some arms. If you stumble around a little bit, that's normal, no big deal. Strengthening the legs. Let's do one more. Bringing that breath all the way down into the belly and coming back down. Now just turn so you're facing the long side of your mat. Give yourself some space here and come back into that mountain. And then step back with the left leg, hands to the hips. And you may want to just play around with your foot position here and find a space where those hips feel like they're square with the short side of your mat. And then come into some bending and straightening here. And you can play around with your foot position. Both toes are facing forward, but the back foot is a little bit turned out. Pay attention to where your knee comes in relation to your ankle. And just watching that your knee doesn't go farther forward than your ankle. If it is, then just kick your foot out a little farther. And when you find a spot that feels good, go ahead and sink down into that warrior one. Check on your hip position. Make sure they're still facing the front. And then bring the arms down to your sides, palms facing out. As you inhale, lift those arms out and overhead. As you exhale, turn the hands and press your palms down towards the floor. Inhale, reach those arms out and up overhead. Exhale, press the palms back down towards the floor. Inhale to the top. And this time as you come to the top, go ahead and hold here. Sink down into your warrior one. Breathing through your nose. Pull the shoulders down and away from the ears. If this is too much on your shoulders, you can always bring your arms out to a cactus arms. And then on your next inhale, straighten that right leg. And then exhale, bring the arms back down to the sides. Shift your hips so that they're now facing the long side of your mat. And you may want to adjust your feet a little bit here. The back foot is going to be in a T with your front foot. So front foot straight out towards the short side of your mat. Back foot comes to a T. And then with your hips square to the long side of your mat, come into some bending and straightening here. Again, watching that knee in relation to your ankle. And if you find your knee is coming past where your ankle is, just kick that foot out a little farther. And check on that hip. A lot of times when we come in to a warrior two, that back hip likes to try and kick out. Try and keep it back in line. Press it back. And then sink down into that warrior two. Inhale those arms out to the side. And then if it feels okay, you can look out over that right arm. If it feels okay on your neck. Bring your breath down into your belly, in and out through your nose. Noticing where you feel the energy. If you're creating any heat. And then on your next inhale, drop the arms, straighten the front leg. And turn back towards the short side of your mat. Step that back foot up a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of space here. And see if you can find some balance on that front foot. Keep the arms back behind you. Shoulder blades pulled together. Neck nice and long. And then tipping slightly from the hip. Leading with the chest. See if you can pick that back leg up off the floor. If you can't, that's okay. Just tap that toe down. But just try, check in with your balance here. It's normal to stumble around a little bit, so if that happens, let that go. And then gently set that foot back down. Come back to the center and give it a little shake. Those legs. And then we'll come to the other side. So the opposite side, short side of the mat, mountain pose, step that left leg straight back. Hands to the hips, square the hips off with the short side of the mat, and then come into those bending and straightening. Again, you can play around with your foot position and just find a place that feels comfortable. Keep the breath flowing. And then sink down into that warrior one. Check on your hips. Square them off with the short side of your mat. If that back hip starts to kick out, just press it forward. Bring the arms down to your sides. And as you inhale, palms facing up, bring them out and overhead. As you exhale, press the palms down towards the floor. Breathing in and out through the nose. Inhaling up. Exhaling, press the palms down towards the floor. Inhaling, come up. And this time, hold it. Palms facing towards each other. Check on those hips. Breathe. As we start to get warmed up, sometimes our tendency is to start breathing through our mouth. Try and fight that. And keep breathing through your nose. And then on your next inhale, straighten that leg, reach up, and then exhale, bring the arms down to the sides. Shift your hips to the long side of your mat. Again, if you need to move your feet position around a little bit, hands to the hips, and then bend and straighten that front leg. Keep that hip in check. Square it off. And then sink down into that warrior two. Inhale the arms out to the sides. And then if it feels okay, you can look out over that left arm. Breathing. Nice, deep, long breaths. Feel the energy in your legs. And then on your next inhale, lower the arms, straighten the leg. Turn the hips back towards the short side of your mat. And then jump that back foot up a little bit. And find some balance on that front leg. Bring the arms back, shoulder blades pulled together. And then tipping from the hip. See if you can lift that leg just a little bit off of the ground here. Look, if you find a spot on the floor that you can look at, it's called a dristi, helps with your balance and concentration. And then gently release back down. And give it a little shake. And then step the feet a little wider apart and we'll come into some sun breaths here. So on your inhale, inhale the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, sit the hips back behind your knees and drop those arms down. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, drop it down. So nice big inhales, nice big exhales. Just pairing your movement with your breath here. One more. And this time as you come down, fold forward and go ahead and just hang out here. And I'm going to turn to the side so that we're facing the long side of our mat. And just let your head tumble out of your shoulders. Let your torso tumble out of your hips. Keep a slight bend in the knees. Feel your belly Pressing into your legs as you breathe. And then gently walk those hands out and come down one knee at a time. And then come down onto your belly. Bring your hands so that your elbows are directly under your shoulders. And splay those hands open nice and wide and set them down onto the mat. And try and press your chest forward here and squeeze your glutes in towards each other to protect your lower back. Elongate through the neck, looking down in between the hands. And take some nice deep breaths down into your belly here. Strengthening through the lower back. On your next exhale, go ahead and release down and stack your palms and just rest your forehead gently on your palms. And then pick your feet up and just windshield wiper your feet from side to side, just to release any tension that may have crept up in your back. Go ahead and set those feet back down. Press your hands into the mat and press yourself back into a child's pose. Bringing your hips down towards your feet. Just take a moment and check in with yourself here. Notice where you feel the energy in your body. And then on your next inhale, just gently roll yourself up into a seated position. And if you have a cushion or a pillow or something nearby that you can sit on, we're going to do some breath work here. If not, that's okay too. Just come to a seated, comfortable seated position. And sit up nice and tall. And sit up on your sits bones, that bony part of the flesh at the bottom of your pelvis. And pull the shoulders down and back. And just come into some nice deep breaths here. Bringing the breath down into the abdomen. And really just take a moment and really feel grounded in that breath. Make it nice and smooth with the even length of your inhales and exhales. Try and keep them the same length. And then we're going to take our right hand and we're going to bring our pointer finger and middle finger down and leave the ring finger, pinky, and thumb out I'm doing it backwards so that it's easier for you to follow along. And with our breathing, we're going to bring that so that if you want to kind of play around with it here, there is the sides of your nose at the top of your nostril, that like meaty cavity of your nose. And if you kind of push back and forth very lightly, you can kind of feel around where, the part that would close off your nostril. And that's what we're going to be doing during that exercise. So just kind of feel around for that. Take a big inhale. Close off the right nostril and exhale out the left side. Then inhale through the left side. Switch and pinch off the left nostril and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Pinch off the right nostril. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Pinch off the left. Exhale through the right. And then release your hand and take a breath. Just breathe normally. And just take a moment and notice how you feel. This breath is called Nadi Shodhanam. And Nadi Shodhanam is a breath work that helps to let the right brain and the left hemispheres of the brain work together a little better. It's very relaxing and calming. If you have a stressful day, it's a really nice breath work to kind of bring in. So then we're going to come back to our seated practice here. And then gently begin to walk your hands over towards the right side. You can lose your cushion if you'd like here. Or if it feels comfortable to keep it, you can keep it. And as you inhale up the spine and get taller. As you exhale down the spine and see if maybe your body will let you twist a little farther. Nice deep breaths. Nice and slow. And then slowly begin to unwind. Switch the position of your legs. Whichever one was in front, put the other one in front. And then we'll go to the opposite side. Just gently making your way around. Again, inhaling up the spine, sitting up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, down the spine, see if your body will let you twist maybe a little farther. Nice deep breaths. And then slowly begin to unwind. Coming back to the front. And then we're going to make our way down onto our back. So slide out your cushion, and then gently roll back onto your back. Bring your right knee into your chest, flex foot, and then set that left leg all the way down on the ground with both feet flexed, keeping the legs active here. Feel your belly pressing into your leg as you breathe. And then reaching across with that left arm onto the outside of your right leg. And just bring that leg a little bit across the midline here. Not all the way down, just a little bit. Keeping both of the feet flexed. You can bring your right arm out to a T position. And just breathe. Relax through your shoulders, relax your jaw. Soften where you can. And then bring that knee back up, hug it in, and then let that right leg come down to the ground. Bring the left leg into your chest, flexing both feet. Hug it in. Notice where you feel the energy, where you feel the stretch. And then reaching across with your right arm onto that left leg. Just bring it across the midline. And then bring that arm out to a T. It's a really good stretch for your piriformis. And then release that leg. Slide it down to meet the other one. And just give those legs a little shake. Just rolling the ankles from side to side. And then just let them fall wherever they fall. And then bring those shoulder blades down. Bring your arms down to a comfortable position out to your sides. Then we'll prepare for Shavasana. If you have a light pillow or a blanket you want to set under your head or an eye pillow, go ahead and grab that. If not, then just relax. Close your eyes. Let your palms face up and out away from your body. And let your body feel heavy into the ground. Feel the ground fully supporting you. And just let your body melt into the floor. And bring your attention to your breath. Just notice if it feels any different now than it did at the beginning of class. Bring your awareness to the crown of your head. And let the wrinkles fall out of your forehead. And let the crown of your head just sink a little further down towards the floor. Let your eyes sink into the sockets. Let your cheeks relax in your ears. Just bring your attention to your nose. Just notice the cooling sensation of your breath as you inhale and the warming sensation as you exhale. Relax your jaw and your mouth. Soften down through your throat. Coming down through your collarbones, into the shoulders. And let those arms relax down into the floor. Let your hands be open. Notice each one of those fingertips just slightly curled and relaxed. Coming back through the wrist, up through the elbow, and back into the shoulders. And just noticing the space in your chest, your heart center. Noticing the space in your abdomen. And noticing the space in your pelvis and lower abs. Bring your awareness down through your upper legs, down through your lower legs, into the feet, and each one of those toes. Coming back up through the soles of the feet, up the back of the legs, back of the pelvis, lower back, upper back, back of the neck, back of the head, and back to the crown of your head. And as you breathe, breathe into all of those spaces of your body as if your whole body is breathing. Your whole body is breathing. Feel the energy and the nourishment coming into your body on your inhales. And feel your body cleansing any toxins or negative thoughts or feelings on your exhales. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring in some gentle movement, wiggling the fingers and toes. If there's anywhere you feel like needs an extra stretch, go ahead and give it a stretch. And when you're ready, roll over onto one side in the fetal position. And take a few breaths here. Take a moment to thank yourself for practicing today. And then when you're ready, you can press yourself up into a seated position, taking your time. Om Shanti, peace. Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. May there be peace in our hearts. May there be peace in our minds. May there be peace in our bodies. And may there be peace in the words that we speak. And take a moment and bow to honor that light in yourself. And honor the light in others. Namaste. How do you feel? I couldn't really see you very well.
There it is. On the other. Yeah, it was okay at first, and then it just got darker and darker and darker. And I looked up at some point, you could just see like the curtains.
Yeah, it is the season for that, I suppose.
Well, at least it's getting a little lighter.
Yes.
It's a little lighter than it was. It was just pitch black at this time, but
Yeah.
my apologies. I feel like the last time I saw you has been months, and work has just been crazy, but I'm like recommitted to finding some kind of healthy routine, because it has not been routine and it's not been healthy. So
I know.
so you should see a lot more.
You're not alone.
And I felt so bad. When I felt so bad, because about a month ago, I'm like, I got to get back into it. I miss it so much. And I signed up for a class. And then about like, I got a phone call like 15 minutes before, and I had to go to a store. And then I had to cancel it like the last minute. I'm like, oh my God, like she doesn't even know me. And here I flaked out for most of them. And this one I'm dumping out at the last minute. So I'm not usually like this, I promise. So.
That's okay. No problem. I'm just glad you came. There's somebody else supposed to come today too, and something similar probably happened. So
yeah, I mean, it's been varying. Even when I haven't gone to anything in person in a year, and even when they kind of reconvened in person, I wasn't, I don't know, I'm just around people so much all day that I just wasn't real comfortable with that. But like the in-person classes, like even then there was generally only a couple of us that kind of routinely came. So I don't know if you've been seeing, have people been coming, or
well, she isn't allowing us to do the in-person classes right now, so everything's online. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything one way or another when they're going back to in-person classes, but I like them in person better. Personally, but
yeah, I did too, because it's always kind of this, and I feel so bad for like you guys, is just because I knew in early classes too, like some people would turn their cameras on and other people wouldn't, and I'm just like, man, it must be so hard. Like you're teaching and you look out and just don't see anything.
Yeah.
So whether they're there or not,
it's a little harder to teach online than it is in person, because in person you can kind of cue to what you see. And so, if somebody is like doing something that, they could improve upon, you can kind of cue to that and help them correct their stance a little bit. But online you can't see anything.
Yeah.
To tell.
I'll figure something out so it's not like pitch black like this anymore, because like I can't. And I hooked it up, I just got a TV in my office, so that's helpful to me, because instead of like my little phone, I have on like a bigger screen. But because it was really hard in the beginning, because it was just like, okay, I have my phone.
Yeah I know.
Times like I'd have to stop and like come up and like, oh, okay, I know that.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, you should see a lot more of me. So
awesome.
I look forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good week.
All right, you too. Bye.